Hey guys, it's Dr. Jessica from Family First Chiropractic in Dothan, Alabama. I'm coming to you live today to talk about ear infections and the top 3 ways to avoid your child getting ear infections. So in the United States, we spend $4 billion treating ear infections, typically with antibiotics that are often overly prescribed and overly used. So a couple of things about ear infections: they can be viral or bacterial. If the infection is viral, then antibiotics will do nothing to kill off the infection. So sometimes antibiotics don't even work for ear infections. So if the infection is bacterial, it's hit or miss with the antibiotics. Your child may not respond to the antibiotics properly. So if you've ever been frustrated, gone into the pediatrician to get some help with the ear infections, you're prescribed an antibiotic, and then 2 weeks later at your checkup, it's still not gone, so you're prescribed another antibiotic. So it's hit or miss with that. Other causes of ear infections, it can be environmental issues or allergies, whether it's environmental allergies or food allergies. So these will cause inflammation in the body, and that will prevent your body from being able to ward off infections and things like that. Also, eustachian tube dysfunction. If the eustachian tube is not able to drain properly, then fluid will back up into the ear and cause that infection because it's not able to drain properly. So, top 3 ways to avoid your child getting ear infections. Number 1 is to avoid dairy and processed foods and refined sugars. So these are all pro-inflammatory foods, meaning they cause your body to produce more inflammation and more mucus. So that's one of the issues with ear infections, is that, if they get sinus issues, it turns into an ear infections. That's one of the issues there. So if you have inflammation in your body, your gut also gets inflamed, so your baby or your child may not be getting all the nutrients that they need. And it's hard to heal with inflammation. So if you've ever had issues personally with your body's just really inflamed, having achy joints, it's the same thing with that. So avoiding dairy and processed food and refined sugars will make a huge difference. So what I typically find whenever I'm talking to a mom that's bringing their child in for ear infections is they'll say, well, we don't really do a whole lot of dairy, so that's not a big issue, we'll cut it out. But if you think about your child's diet, especially toddlers, chances are they're getting a lot more dairy than you think. Maybe they're having a bowl of cereal for breakfast with dairy milk. They might be having yogurt as a snack. And dinner time, they might have mac and cheese. And let's top it off with some ice cream for dessert. And suddenly we have a whole lot of dairy in their diet. So if your child has an ear infection, currently has one, be sure to cut all of that out until they have healed from that, and that'll help them heal a lot quicker. So number 2 is starting a probiotic. So if your child or anybody, even adults, is on an antibiotic, it is crucial to start a probiotic, a good quality probiotic. This will help to restore the good bacteria in your child's gut. So about 70% of the immune system actually lies within the gut. So if your gut health is off, you're going to see a lot of other symptoms and issues as well, including the ear infections. So in the antibiotics, they'll kill off the bad bacteria, but they also kill off the good bacteria that's needed to keep that good balance in your gut and in your child or baby's gut and body. So make sure you start a good probiotic. We in the office at Family First Chiropractic, we sell Clear Labs probiotics. They're such good quality. They're refrigerated. You keep them refrigerated to make sure that you keep the good bacteria alive. We sell it in an infant powder, in a children's chewable, and then also an adult capsule. So if you have a baby that takes a bottle, you can add some of the infant powder to their bottle, and that will help them. If it's a toddler or a child, they can take the chewable. Or if you're breastfeeding, mom can take the capsule, and then the baby will get the probiotic through her breast milk too. So the third and final way to help with ear infections is to get adjusted. Of course, you knew I was going to say that. So my child, Brady, he's 14 months old. He's never had an ear infection. So what makes him different than a child that has had half a dozen by this time? So we talked a little bit about the eustachian tube dysfunction. In babies, the eustachian tube runs from the ear and it's more horizontally like this. But in adults, it's more diagonally, so it's able to drain more properly. Well, whenever that eustachian tube is horizontal and we have inflammation in the body, whether it's from diet, swimming, things like that, that fluid's going to back up into that eustachian tube, and it's just going to kind of sit there and pull up and create this infection. So how do adjustments help with ear infections? This top bone in your spine, right here in your baby's spine, tends to be the main contributor to what I find with ear infections and one of the causes. So if this bone, let's just say, has shifted over to the right side, I'm typically going to find that the baby has an ear infection in that right ear. I call it the ear infection game whenever parents bring their kids into me to help with ear infections, and I'll say, don't tell me which side it's on, let me just guess. And based on which side the C1 vertebrae is misaligned, I can almost always guess which side the ear infection is on. If your child typically has double ear infections in both ears, I will typically find that that C1 vertebrae is shifted to one side and that C2 vertebrae is shifted to the other side. So that creates a lot of issues, that puts pressure on the nerves and doesn't allow that eustachian tube to drain properly. Now the good thing is that I've helped literally hundreds of babies and toddlers clear ear infections, to the point we've had some that have come in, they've been on 8 to 10 different antibiotics. Their next step is surgery. Mom's frustrated, baby's been in pain. We've seen dozens of ear infections, but they come in to get adjusted and suddenly the ear infections are gone, and we're able to prevent surgery and prevent more antibiotic use. And with regular chiropractic care, we found that even these babies that have had dozens of ear infections, if they come in and get checked regularly, they don't have another ear infection again. If they do, it's typically around the winter time when they get stuffy noses, and that congestion and that inflammation, that mucus can cause more issues with the ears. So if I have any patients that are tuning in that have had successes with ear infections, please share your story, because it is really awesome to help with this, and it's a blessing to be able to help kids. The adjustments for babies and kids at this age to help with ear infections, it's very, very gentle. There's no popping or cracking in their neck or in their spine at all. It's called sustained contact. So I just hold gentle pressure right behind the ears at that C1 vertebrae, and that'll alleviate the pressure on the ears, the eustachian tube, and on the nerves that go to that area. So if you have any questions, please comment below. I'll be happy to answer after this live video, or you're free to message us on our Facebook page as well. If your child has ear infections, give these 3 suggestions a try. It'll make a huge difference in their health, not only when they have an ear infection, but also to prevent these ear infections in the future. So if you want to set up an appointment with me, I do offer free 10-minute consultations. So if you have any additional questions, we can get those out of the way to schedule your child's appointment. So you can give us a call at 334-446-5381, and tune in next time, because I will be giving you some suggestions for natural remedies to help ear infections as well, okay? I hope you guys have all enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye. Have a great day.